And first of all, I would say thanks a lot for accepting our invitation on the platform of
Thank you, sir.
Gurukul Pacific. Thank you so much for your kind support and cooperation, sir. And
Thank you, sir.
I hope that this session is going to be very interesting. So I would request all the audience to pay attention, please. And now I shall request Dr. Mehdi Sharma to proceed on, please.
तो वेलकम यू सर, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है पैसिफिक यूनिवर्सिटी में। और इस आज के सेशन में हम ज़रूर आपसे रिक्वेस्ट रहेगी कि आप हमारे स्टूडेंट्स को बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट इंफॉर्मेशन और नॉलेज देंगे। सो लेट्स स्टार्ट सर।
Yeah. Thank you so much, madam. Thank you for this opportunity. So I think I am addressing a group of students from your university, and I have prepared this slide in such a way that the students can well understand. And first of all, if I go back to my topic, the topic is tourism entrepreneurship for a developed India. Now the question is, when are we going to get that tax developed India? So Indian government is thinking that the Viksit Bharat in 2047, when we are going to celebrate our 100 years of independence, we are planning accordingly to change India from a developing nation to a developed nation. So before I proceed into tourism entrepreneurship and Viksit Bharat, just let us talk about some concept of livelihood. As you know, most of you are aware about what livelihood is, but in tourism, the fundamental concept of livelihood is
सर अनम्यूट करिए, अनम्यूट करिए।
I yeah.
यस सर, यस सर,
Is it okay now?
यस सर, यस।
Tourism livelihood, it is a socio-economic industry which includes all attraction, activities, services and infrastructure related to people's travel away from their home on a long day trip or an overnight stay, as defined by UNWTO, which is presently known as United Nations Tourism. So it is today the world's largest industry, involving about 8% of the entire global population, and has grown to be one of the fastest growth sector. I repeat, it is one of the fastest growth sector in the global economy, only second to oil, and observed by with and all in 1991. So many developing countries has taken this travel and tourism as an area where they can earn their foreign exchange. Now, what livelihood is all about? I think my screen is visible, madam.
Yes sir, yes।
Okay, so what is tourism livelihood? So livelihood is a broader sociological term rooted to a concept of social justice, where culture and identity forms its basis, and it is dependent upon the landscape and the ecology. So based on the landscape and ecology, livelihood might change. That means people here in West Bengal, we are covered by a lot of rivers, streams, and oceans. So a part of the population drags their livelihood from fishing or from fishing related services, but that is not possible when we talk about Himachal Pradesh, when we talk about Jammu and Kashmir. So it relates to the community and property rights, indicating dignity, control and empowerment and sustainability apart from income generation. So a person's livelihood, what does it actually mean? It means securing the basic necessities. That's we roti, kapra or makan. I must secure that. So securing the basic necessities of food, water, shelter and clothing for life. So livelihood is defined as a set of activities essential to everyday life that are conducted over one's lifespan. So such activities could include securing water, food, fodder, medicine, shelter and clothing. So an individual's livelihood involves the capacity to acquire necessities to satisfy the basic need of themselves and their household. So we all, me as a professor, everyone in this world, even the students, they are always in search of their livelihood. Some are preparing for their livelihood so that they can earn their livelihood, and some are already earning their livelihood to sustain their life. Now, this generation of livelihood, how would I generate livelihood? Here the concept of entrepreneur comes into play. So who is an entrepreneur? Is someone who organizes, manages and assumes the risk of a business. So I repeat, someone who organizes, manages and assumes the risks of a business. So he should assume the risk of a business, understand the risk and then take the challenges. So as he is doing something different, so he can be regarded as an agent
टर्न
of
नहीं आता
change.
सबका तो
Scampeter's definition: entrepreneur in an advanced economy is an individual who introduces something new in the economy. So he is someone who is introducing something new in the economy, a method of production not yet tested by experience. That means he is totally in a new platform trying to do something new that has not been tested. So as a result, there is always a risk factor involved in his job. So it is not tested by experience in the branch of manufacturing, a product with which consumers are not yet familiar, a new source of raw material, or new markets, and are like that. Entrepreneurship is a purposeful activity. So, people who have defined entrepreneurship, the social change makers, they have defined entrepreneurship as a purposeful activity. That means I am ready to do it. It is out of my own will and it has got certain purpose. Purposeful activity of an individual or a group of associated individuals undertaken to initiate, maintain, or aggrandize profits by production or distribution of economic goods and services. On the other hand, entrepreneurship is based on a purposeful and systematic innovation. It is included not only the independent businessmen but also company directors, managers who actually carry out innovative function. That means if you are inside a company dragging your salary, so company director and manager, they also persist their entrepreneurial skills. Now, what actually tourism entrepreneurship is meant by? So tourism entrepreneurship means it is a technique of using expert skill and competencies to expand new tourism business. So as we are aware that tourism is increasing in leaps and bounds, hospitality is increasing in leaps and bounds. So we must understand that in order to increase it, we need to have our new business to operate. And not only that, starting of a new business, broadening of an existing business, but for what reason? To generate employment, wealth, and social goodwill. And the next point is to boost the local resources. That means I am having my own entrepreneurial venture in some remote part of the country. I am running good. On the other hand, I am also contributing to the local resources and I'm utilizing the local resources, boosting the local economy. So, tourism entrepreneurship refers to the event of the most important group of stakeholders of the service sector, mostly planned to meet the demand and supply of the tourism. So, there is a demand and you need to have the supply. So, a tourism entrepreneur finds this opportunity, links this demand and supply, and to achieve a competitive professionalism and a gainful socio-economic status. Now, when we are talking about tourism entrepreneurship in the Viksit Bharat concept, so how can tourism entrepreneurship contribute? So what are the different types? Most of the hotel management students here are quite aware that it is hospitality. That means you can start your own venture of homestays, hotels, resorts, or even small ventures like providing basic accommodation to the people. Tour operations, it is an experienced job which is absolutely experiential, cultural, and adventure minded. You can start with your entrepreneurship venture with food and beverage. You can provide ethnic food, you can provide catering, or any way or the other, you can serve your tourists. You can be also the part of the transportation services. You can be a local transport operator, you can be a regional transport operator, you can even provide guide services. And even for tech startup, that means when a tourism business is coming up or any sort of business is coming up, they need to have a tech support. So you can also be a startup in the tourism industry knowing the field. So that can also be a new type of tourism entrepreneurship. Now why are we thinking like this? We are thinking because job creation is possible of both skilled and unskilled worker. So tourism and hospitality is the only field where you can provide equal opportunity to skilled workers and to unskilled workers. Even a person who is looking after your garden, and if that garden is in your hotel, that means that gardener is a part of the tourism industry because he is earning his livelihood from that. And in tourism, it also empowers women and rural communities. So women forms a wide part of the tourism employment. And even from rural communities, we have to accept people from rural communities because tourism actually takes place in rural areas or semi-rural areas. He can be a guide, he can be a facilitator or anything. And can be preservation and enhancement of local heritage and traditions. So we have got our local heritage, we need to preserve and conserve it. Why we need to preserve and conserve it? We need to preserve and conserve it because in future course of time we are going to sell that to the tourists. Okay, so all of you might be based in Udaipur, and Rajasthan is one of the best destination for heritage tourism, right? So Rajasthan provide adventure tourism activities, Rajasthan provide heritage tourism activities. We can learn about the culture of India, a part of the culture of India from Rajasthan. So until and unless the Rajasthan government and the people of Rajasthan conserves and preserves their heritage, mostly local heritage, that cannot be done. uh, Community-led sustainable initiatives. Now, this is very important because many people believe that tourism and hospitality it is killing the environment. It is providing damage to the environment. So we need to grow, but we need to grow keeping in mind that the sustainability context is there. The environment protection, environment development should be there. So that is another reason for tourism entrepreneurship. Whenever you are growing your business, you should keep in mind that it doesn't hamper the environment or the local ecology. Now, as we are moving into Viksit Bharat, government is taking some initiatives so that young students after graduating they can start up their own venture. But how will they start up? They need to have the training. Most of the training institutes they provide that training. In colleges and universities we try to provide that training under something a syllabus bound factor, but apart from that we need to have that skill and knowledge, how to get that skill and knowledge so that I can start my own venture. So that is for the startup India concept is there. I think many of you have heard about the startup India context. So in the startup India context, the government is actually encouraging young entrepreneurs or entrepreneurial minded people that you come and do your business, we are going to help you. There are many states where the tourism policies actually is a very positive towards tourism entrepreneurship. So there are many states. I think Rajasthan government's tourism policy also encourages tourism entrepreneurship. So the state tourism policy is there addressing tourism entrepreneurship that actually benefits the people who are interested in it. Recognition and funding of tourism startups. So you should recognize, you should fund tourism startup across 262 districts in India. So that is very important. We need to have the funding. We need to recognize these startups so that they can get the basic impetus before starting with their journey of business. And partnership with private sector, even small entrepreneurs can tie up with private sector and global brand. It is 100% possible in tourism and hospitality that I am having my small venture, I am approaching any private sector related with these type of activities that please fund me, I want to be a part of you, and the franchisee business starts. So what are the opportunities for innovations? Now you want to start your business, how will you go through, how will you make people aware that I want to start my business, right? So digital platform, and virtual tourism. So, in this age of AI, we can utilize the digital platform in such a way that it benefits tourism marketing. That means a new person or a new businessman can understand that I am here in this. I am into business, so let us join hands together and do the business. And as we know, 80% of our country is rural. So there is an immense scope and opportunity for rural and experiential tourism. That means tourists from the cities, they're going to the rural areas, they are staying there for 2 3 days, they are getting engaged into the local community, they are actually taking the test of rural living, which they actually miss in the concrete jungles of the cities. So they are talking with the artisans. Okay, there are many artisans village. I can remember one in Odisha, in Raghurajpur, in the Puri district of Odisha. There is Raghurajpur village that is called the artisans village, where tourists visit and they can make their paintings done by them. And as you are aware that I have discussed about sustainable tourism ventures. So, what about sustainable tourism ventures? So, it can be homestays, it can be eco lodges, it can be special interest tours, etc. etc. So, whenever we are going to start something new, we should think in a different way. And this thinking in a different way actually make us aware about the sustainability factor. So, I am making a homestay. I should use eco-friendly materials. I can use solar electricity. I can treat the waste. In this way, I can make my homestay as an eco lodge, right? And in special interest tours, I can go for trekking in the deep woods. So people should be aware that I'm going inside the forest, so we should maintain the protocol of the forest. And in this way, we can also make them understand about nature. Now, we, the people living in the cities, we are not at all related with nature, and we don't know the rule of the nature. So, whenever we are going for any sustainable tourism venture, like a special interest tour, etc., we can think that we should educate people about sustainability so that they can understand the value of nature and natural conservation. Now, the other part of my lecture will be the vision for developed India Viksit Bharat 2047. Now, are we in a position to prove that we need to be a Viksit Bharat? Years ago, when the other civilizations was not in existence, the Indian civilization were in existence. And whatever that we are doing in science, in mathematics, most of these, there are evidences in Indian texts and literatures that India was well ahead of the era that we belong to now. Now, say for example, most of us believe that algebra was born in Western countries or in Europe, but there is one person called Brahmagupta in Indian civilization. In his texts, people have found that, my God, this algebra, whatever that we claim that it has developed in the West, there are textual references in India. So that is why more and more people are getting inclined to India. People are studying Indology as a subject to understand India. Now, that was our position. What happened in the medieval times, what happened in the years to come, that we went backward. But that doesn't mean that one day we will not lead from the front. So, our Prime Minister, he has mentioned to the citizens of India that we must think of a Viksit Bharat, that too in 2047, because in 2047 we will be celebrating our 100 years of independence, and in that time India must prove itself to the world that we are not a developing country now, we are a developed country. Okay, India not always prove like the Western world, but In Operation Sindoor, you can understand that the whole world was taken aback looking at India's military strength. And as you all know, that when we talk about a developed country, we always consider the economy and the military strength. So our economy, nothing to say, it is growing and it is really growing very fast. Thanks to the population of India, the people who are very young people now these young men, they will continue for the country's growth. So what are the visions? The vision is making India a global brand in tourism. So we must make India as a global brand in tourism, for which we need to develop tourism in such a way that people feel free to come to India. We must develop certain techniques that will make ease in travel to India. And what is Government of India's vision? Transform India into a developed nation by 2047. What are they? Where are they giving more emphasis? They're giving more emphasis on economic growth. And as we all know, tourism and hospitality is one of the key tools for the economic growth of a country. Singapore's 1% revenue come from tourism, right? So countries like Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bhutan, they depend on tourism. So we have to give that emphasis. We must think of social progress so that the people can live happily. Okay, there should be a happiness factor, there should be an increase in the happiness factor. Okay, the sustainability and most important, good governments. Okay, if we have a good government, a stable government, then only the country can grow. And in the next point, in Viksit Bharat concept, it has been talked about the inclusive entrepreneurship. That means entrepreneurship is not only for a particular group of people. Entrepreneurship should include youth, women, and rural population. That means people from various stages of the society, people from various population areas, they should come into the entrepreneurial venture. Not only the literate, MBA graduates, postgraduates, they are into entrepreneurship. There should be rural participation, there should be women into it. And what about the sustainable development as per United Nations Sustainable Development Goals? So those United Nations Sustainable Development Goals need to be addressed for India in order to claim itself as a developed India. And from the tourism perspective, ensuring every tourist get a feel India from within. That means they can feel, okay, I want to visit India. India is such a beautiful country, so I must go. They should the feelings, the motivation should come from inside. We need to prepare them accordingly. Now let us quickly look at the statistics, madam. I think I am having 10 minutes time, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, madam. So I will be finishing up within 10 minutes.
Thank
Okay.
you, sir. Yes, sir.
Let us talk about the growth engine for India. So in tourism, the current contribution is 5 to 6% of the GDP, 4.3 crore job, and 1.9 trillion US dollar. What is the target? 10% GDP. Can I imagine? Doubled. GDP, 3 to 4 trillion dollars. Doubled.
No.
And job creation, if these two doubles, now the job creation from 4.3 crore, it can touch to 20 crore. So students who are listening to this lecture, studying hospitality and tourism, be rest assured that there are golden days ahead for you as per the estimation from various sources. Is it from my end? I don't think.
No, no, no. No, 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 sir.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why we are targeting such ambitious targets? Now these targets are really ambitious. From 1.9 trillion economy to 3 to 4 trillion tourism economy, these are ambitious targets. Now are you prepared for it? Then what are the uniqueness of why India? If anyone takes why India, then with a single visa, with a single entry, you can see the mighty Himalayas to the majestic Indian Ocean. You can see deserts, you can see plateaus, you can see valleys, you can go to a hill station, you can enjoy on a riverside, you can go to an island, and you can best enjoy India with the world class hospitality. And these are all natural factors. Now, what about the heritage? The rich Indian heritage that dates back to 5,000 years. It has got everything to showcase. So, if we can showcase our heritage to the world, then I really think that Spain's Tomatino festival will attract less tourists than the Jallikattu buffalo race in Tamil Nadu. So most of the foreign tourists they visit Spain for that buffalo competition and for the Tomatino festival. So all these things are in India also. So Jallikattu is a adventure sports activities played with the buffaloes and the cows and ox, and it is a traditional sports for the people of Tamil Nadu. Okay, anyone can come to India and see the snake boat race festival. Anyone can come to India to see the chariot festival of Puri. So that rich heritage, diversity, spiritual legacy, most of the world religions have its birth ground in India. So the spiritual reality, people from Japan, Japanese tourists are regarded as the high spender tourist. A huge number of Japanese tourists come to India to find out more about Lord Buddha. Now, for the Vision 2047, what are the aspirations? What are the parameters? So, GDP contribution 10% target. Now we are in 5 to 6%, with 1.9 trillion to 3 to 4 trillion dollars. Job to be created 20 crores. Now it is 4 to 5 crores. Domestic visit 20 billion a year. Now this is something very important, that we need to encourage more and more domestic tourists to travel to India. A huge number of tourists from India they travel abroad, skipping India. But what India have, the world have. So why are you going to New York or USA to see the Grand Canyon? Find out somewhere in India there is a similar Grand Canyon thing like this. So we need to check that. We need to motivate those people for domestic tourism, because we are really have that potential of encouraging and accommodating domestic tourists in India. So domestic tourist is 20 billion, whereas foreign tourist arrival is 100 million. That is the projection. And forex earnings in US dollar, it can be 400 billion. Now, I have spoken about entrepreneurship. I have spoken about Viksit Bharat 2047, what India wants to be. So I am quite assured, and I'm living only to see that India becomes a developed country. India becomes a permanent member of the UN Security Council, and India plays a major role in international politics. So if India gets the status, so the local population will get more and more scopes and opportunities for their entrepreneurial venture. So although Donald Trump has given 50% tariff on us, we don't care. We know that whatever the goods we are sending to USA, we will be sending to Africa, we will be sending to the Southeast Asian countries. So we have customers. So Donald Trump, be careful. If you are putting tariff of 50%, then it's your problem, not ours. So that should be the spirit, that make in India concept. Whatever that we are making in India, it is for the whole world. iPhones are made in India, right? A Samsung is manufacturing its phones in India, and it is being exported to other parts of the world. So there are entrepreneurial scopes everywhere, and even in tourism. But tourism is a very vast sector. In this vast sector, let me take one simple example of ecotourism. Say, for example, one of you wants to be an ecotourism entrepreneur. So you are willing to be an ecotouristic entrepreneur. So you want to do something for ecotourism. What are your scopes? So I have listed few of the scopes. If you are an entrepreneur, you can be a service entrepreneur. That means you are not manufacturing anything, you are providing that service and you're earning your livelihoods. So that service entrepreneur, you can be a guide or an escort. A guide, escort, or a mountain sherpa, they earn really a lot of money to sustain their livelihood. Next, camping. Camping is getting popular in India. Although it is very popular in US and UK, US and Europe, but it was not so popular in India. So camping is getting popular in India. So a little bit of lessons on nature, and you have arranged a camping site. Relax. All your money will flow. Local restaurant management. You can run a local restaurant. You can arrange angling competition, fishing competition, angling competition. These are all adventure things rarely arranged. So if you can arrange it, you will get an opportunity to earn your livelihood. You can go for your adventure tourism services. You can go for boating and river cruising. Go to Kerala, you will find many young boys and girls into entrepreneurial venture of boating. They have bought their boats and they are doing boating for the tourists and they are earning their money. Ecologically viable farm tourism and homestays that I have already discussed. Destination photography. Now, pre-wedding, post-wedding photographies are going on. Destination photography is going on. So that can be a part of your learning activity also. Ornithological activities means bird watching. India is a storehouse of animals and birds. So, from the Asiatic lion to elephants, everything is available in India. So, photographer's paradise in India. So, in that case, you can go for that. So, ornithological activities is one more activity that is gaining importance day by day. Right? So, if I quote the story of Three Idiots, कि पापा अगर मैं इंजीनियर बनूंगा तो बहुत खराब इंजीनियर बनूंगा, मुझे वाइल्ड लाइफ फोटोग्राफी में दिलचस्पी है. Right? So that is also a stream that is coming up. And for tourism, we require transportation. Without transportation, tourism is impossible. Without hospitality, tourism is impossible. So that can also be a scope for entrepreneurship. So here I end my lecture today. I hope that I have managed within the time that has been given to me. And students, you can connect with me. I am always available. Just drop me a WhatsApp. I will respond to all your
Thank
questions
you.
and
Thank
queries.
you so much, sir. Thank you so much for a wonderful information for our student. And
Yeah.
sir, please. Yes, sir.
So if there is any question, I am ready to answer.
Wait, sir. Let me check.
Madam, all my slides were visible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, madam. Okay, madam.
Yes, sir. Sir.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah. On behalf of Pacific Institute of Hotel Management, I, Salish Kumar Matthew, extend my heartfelt gratitude to our respected director, sir, Shri Vinod Kumar Singh Bhaduria, sir, our vice principal, Shri Jacob John, sir, and Dr. Mehendi Sharma, ma'am, and our honorable speaker for the session today, Professor Shankar Kumar Mukherjee, sir, for gracing us with his presence and delivering such an enlightening session on Tourism 2030, sir. Sir, your insight and visionary thought on the future of tourism have truly inspired our students and faculty members, opening new horizon of knowledge and opportunities. Your words will surely guide us in aligning our learning with the global prospect of this dynamic industry. We are deeply thankful for the valuable time you spared for us, for sharing your expertise, which will remembered as a source of motivation and learning
Learning
for our
for our
academic
academic
community.
community
Special thanks to our faculty members and our students and
and
audience
our
for
students
listening us
and
in this
audience for listening us
session.
in
Thank you once again, sir, for your gracious
thank you
presence
once again, sir, for your gracious
contribution
presence
to
and
this session,
remarkable
sir.
contribution to this session, sir.
Thank you for providing
Thank
me this opportunity. So whenever you need any help, you can approach
Sure,
me.
sir. Definitely,
I
definitely,
will
sir.
definitely. I'm always there for my students.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks again. Thanks again.
Yeah, thank you.